First of all, in the blue corner from Tulsa, Oklahoma, weighing 120, a professional record of 25 wins, 17 losses with 13 KOs in the white trunks. From Tulsa, please welcome Lee Cargle. In the red corner, weighing 120 pounds in the black trunks from Carmi, Illinois, a professional record of 15 wins, no losses and 1 draw, Clarence Bones Adams.
You could hear the fan reaction to Bones Adams. He's becoming a favorite here. He fought in Charleston March the 1st, and that was a technical draw with Tony Perez when a bad cut was opened on Perez in the 2nd round. And in the first 2 rounds in South Carolina, if there's an accidental butt forcing or bringing about a cut and forcing the end of a fight, you go call it a technical draw. After the 2nd round, it goes to the scorecards.
Well, you know, I think that's in this case, in Bones Adams' case, it's a bad rule because he had this guy ready to go. He's beaten everybody else. This is a blemish on his record, and I don't think there was any reason for it whatsoever.
29-year-old Lee Cargle, a late replacement, has throughout his career taken fights on short notice. Cargle is 29 years old. He's from Oklahoma City. He turned pro in 1983, and his last fight was in July in Oklahoma. He won a 4th-round knockout. He's had 7 fights this year, and he's 3-4 in those 7 fights.
But again, he's by far the more experienced guy, Sam. Fought the tougher guys. And sometimes these veterans, when they learn how to survive the early rounds, things can get interesting.
Bones Adams has been past the 1st round only once in his last 4 fights. Cargle has been in with some very tough opponents, as Gil mentioned. He was in with Welcome Nacito, who's currently a world champion. Went the distance in South Africa against Nacito in 1987, Nacito winning a unanimous decision. Also fought Tracy Patterson in November of 1989, and Patterson took him out in the 3rd round. Good exchange. Adams got in the right hand. But Cargle mixed it up pretty well. Big ring here in South Carolina. Bones Adams had a fine amateur career, but said he got tired of the amateurs.
Well, I wonder how long it's going to be if he keeps fighting this many fights in a short space of time before he gets tired of the pros.
Well, I think, Gil, in talking to Bones and to talking to his father, who manages him, nice work with the jab by Adams. The feeling is if he starts to have tougher fights, then they'll start to spread out the distance between bouts. But as long as the fights are lasting only 1 or 2 rounds, there's no reason why not getting back right away into the ring. Mike Tyson did that early in his career.
Well, except that no matter how, you don't know that the fight's going to be easy before the fight. And you have to train just as strenuously no matter who you're fighting. At least if you have a good trainer, you should. You should never go into that ring unless you're in condition. So therefore, this kid is in constant training. Everybody needs a blow once in a while, Sam. You should know about that.
Good work by Adams, and now Cargle coming back. Adams worked well to the body with Cargle against the ropes. Triples up with the left hand. Adams has good tools, Gil.
He certainly does. He throws all the combinations, no question about that.
Clancy, live at the King Street Palace in Charleston, South Carolina. This is round 2, scheduled for 10. Clarence Bones Adams in the black trunks, Lee Cargle in the white. In his last fight in Kansas City, Missouri, Bones Adams won what is called the Midwest Bantamweight title. He won a 1-round knockout, stopped Nelson Garcia, and he has a big following in Kansas City, Missouri. In fact, John Chizik, who owns a Honda dealership there, rented a nightclub and a satellite dish to show the fight to several hundred fans tonight.
You think that John also invented that title, Sam?
What's that? Oh, could have.
I mean, that's like being the champion of 104th Street in Manhattan.
Hey, that's a pretty good title.
Matter of fact, I bet on the guy from 104th Street. You notice the Cargle's making some real veteran moves in here. He just isn't always moving the one way, moving to the left, moving to the right. Just throwing Bones a little bit off his usual timing. That's the guy with all the experience, the fact that he can move around, go side to side. He'll pick his spots to counter punch.
Straight right hand, a good one by Adams, and he moves in right behind it. Adams banging the body effectively. Adams was originally scheduled to fight Roland Gomez of Texas. Gomez dropped out, and Adams was going to fight Lee Cargle 3 weeks from now. And Cargle stepped in and said, okay, I'll fight him now. And here they are.
A guy like Cargle, credit, he's 29 years of age. He must be in some kind of condition to be in the fight, which means despite the fact that he has all those losses, he still hasn't been discouraged. Sam, he's still there. Still looks like a pretty good fighter.
Harry Hitopoulos, the referee, moving in.
This is a good learning experience for Bones Adams. He's not having everything his own way in there, Sam. He has to set the guy up.
But what I'm impressed with, Gil, is that he has tremendous poise, and he's going about his business. He's not looking for a quick knockout or to end it in a hurry. He's just working very well.
Oh, he just certainly has all the poise that's necessary. 17 years old, it's like unbelievable. And fighting 10 rounds already, Sam.
Well, this is his
what does he do
first scheduled 10-rounder. For an encore, you fight title fights. Time winding down in round 2. Round 3 of the scheduled 10-rounder. How have you scored the first 2 rounds, Gil?
Oh, the Bones Adams definitely won the first 2 rounds.
Scoring done on a 10-point must system here in South Carolina. 3 judges at ringside do the scoring. 10 points to the winner of a round, 9 or fewer to a loser. There is a standing 8 count in effect. No 3 knockdown rule in effect. Fighter can only be saved by the bell in the last round. Adams working over Cargle.
And again, throwing those beautiful, sharp combinations, Sam. Puts both hands together very, very well. And then again, you see, he just doesn't go wild. Sets the guy up, feints, snaps a jab out there.
I get the feeling that Cargle is waiting for Adams to make a mistake, but Adams isn't making many.
That's right. You figure the youth and the exuberance, they let himself walk wide open once in a while, but he just isn't doing that. Again, very, very poised in that ring.
With both hands, and the uppercut scores. Clarence Adams turned pro in April of 1990. Before he was 16 years old.
Sam, the biggest improvement that I've seen in Bones Adams since we first started to put him on the air is his defense. He used to get hit with a lot more punches than he's getting hit with now. And the offense is still sharp. He's not giving anything up to get better defense.
Fast hands by Adams. Cargle trying to tie him up and does.
Well, that's that experience, Sam.
Adams' older brother just retired from boxing. Brother Fred, who really got Bones started in boxing.
I guess Fred's an old man. How old is Fred?
Fred's in his 20s. He retired with an 18-4-1 record.
Well, that's nothing to be ashamed of.
Bones Adams in control. Cargle on the defensive. That quick uppercut has worked well for Adams.
Come on, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
End of round 3.
Here we see an example of those beautiful combinations of Bones Adams. Goes to the body, goes to the head, uses both hands.
This is round 4, scheduled for 10. Bones Adams clearly in control against the older, more experienced Lee Cargle. Cargle pulling Adams back to the ropes, and Harry Hitopoulos cautions him for pushing.
Cargle, to get into this fight, is going to have to mount a little bit more of an offense, and now he's just trying to stay.
Inside, Adams has a hands-free, and he constantly bangs with it. Cargle got caught coming in by a left hook by Bones Adams.
There's that side-to-side movement of Cargle again. That's what's keeping him in this fight and keeping him upright.
Bones switching to southpaw for a moment. And once again, Cargle forces him back to the ropes. Time has been called. Harry Hitopoulos is going to take away a point. Harry Hitopoulos is the head of the boxing commission, and he takes no guff. He lets the fighters know exactly what he expects of them.
Well, let's see if this affects Cargle's performance at all. Will he fight a little more now, or will he continue to hold?
Cargle perhaps sensing that Adams has much too much for him.
And you know, Cargle is not getting set to punch at all now, Sam. Just moving away, trying to stay out of harm's way.
And it looks like he is trying to rough up Adams.
Well, it looks like he's trying to get disqualified. That's what it looks like.
Okay. And he's been cautioned twice by Harry Hitopoulos about pulling Adams down, pushing his head down. Not fighting at all right here. Adams gets his hands free, starts banging away.
No offense whatsoever from Cargle.
That uppercut grazed the chin of Lee Cargle. Cargle continues to back off, try to stay away from Bones Adams. Set for round 5, scheduled for 10. And Bones Adams' lead over Lee Cargle continues to widen. And last round would be a 2-point round because Cargle lost a point.
And that's absolutely correct. And meanwhile, they tried to give Cargle a little bit of a pep talk between rounds. Let's see if it has any effect.
Thus far it is. Good start to the round for Cargle. Adams trying to turn it around.
You know, Sam, a lot of times the first time you go 10 rounds, it has a psychological effect on you if you've never done it, no matter how good a fighter you are. I remember the first time I put Emil Griffith in a 10-round fight. He just wasn't performing the way I thought he could and the way I knew he could. And after the fight, he said, yes, I was worried about going to 10. Now, but it just doesn't seem to be that way with Bones Adams. He's letting it all hang out, throwing those combinations.
Well, Adams said his goal in the gym has been to prepare for 10 rounds. That's what he's been working on, his stamina. And this is round 5. Only the 4th time in his pro career he's been this distance. He's never been more than 6 rounds in a fight. And he's gone 6 only twice before.
All right, break it up. Break.
But it looks like, to a degree, Adams is pacing himself. He hasn't really opened up, trying to put Cargle away.
Well, yeah, he's being very, very cool in there.
Put leaning on him. Come on, let's go.
Picking Cargle apart, not going wild. And again, this is going to be a very beneficial fight for Bones Adams. He's in with a guy that just doesn't lay down when he gets hit, a little cute, and he's solving every problem that's put in front of him.
Again, Cargle tying up Adams.
Now you say tying up. Harry Hitzopoulos says holding.
What he says probably counts more than what I say.
I would have to. I imagine so. Especially when he puts that one finger up the way he did last round. Again, it's up to Cargle to stand his ground a little bit and get set to throw some punches.
In the first 2 rounds, it looked like Cargle was here to make a fight of it. Now, Cargle has become very defensive and not willing to mix it up much at all. Adams landing, brings the crowd alive.
Big right hand by Cargle in that exchange, too. Sam, was probably Cargle's best punch of the fight, but had no effect on Adams whatsoever.
End of the 5th round. And Bones Adams sits down, and his father right in front of him.
Okay? Looks like it's going to go the distance. We're just going to box him. Get them hooks into the body. He ain't liking that body at all. Every time you hit him in the body, he starts running. So he ain't liking that at all. Okay? You're looking good on your boxing skills. You're looking great.
We knew he was a good fighter. That's the reason we wanted to.
He's ready to go. If you go hard to the
Take
body.
some good deep breaths, okay? Rachel, put some water on his head in the back part. Okay. All right?
When
How
you did
you
that,
feeling?
go hard.
Good.
Feeling good, baby.
You're
Time to
looking
work.
perfect, huh?
Time to work, Bones. Time to work, baby.
Keep
Time to
working
work.
off of that jab,
Time to work now.
okay?
Time to
Keep
work.
working off.
Tossed away a weary Lee Cargle up off the stool. Out for round 6.
They were talking to Bones Adams like it's a close fight. Time to work. I mean, I think he's doing an excellent job up to this point.
And just saw a good example of what Gil mentioned earlier, the defense. He picked off a couple of jabs with that right hand very well.
Come on, fellas.
Bones Adams started boxing when he was 5 years old in Henderson, Kentucky, where he grew up. And the family moved to Detroit when brother Fred turned pro, and now they make their home in Carmi, Illinois. I thought Bones got a little careless that last time with a slow right hand, Gil.
Well, Sammy has so little opposition in front of him that you're inclined to do things like that. He has to keep his concentration, has to bear down, and it's not easy when you're having everything your own way. The thing I like is he is setting up his combinations.
And working the body again. Cargle stops the action.
Now you see Cargle never sets himself to punch. He's never set the punch. He's only set to get out of there and as quickly as possible. Not looking to punch at all.
Good combination once again by Adams.
Watch your head.
Cargle keeps moving away from Adams, trying to stay out of trouble.
But again, never setting himself to give it a good left hook.
Oh, solid. And he got in a right hand underneath as well. Cargle wearing down. Adams at a steady pace, dominating things late in the 6th round. Cargle using all of the ring.
You know, Sam, do you think you could stop something like this? I mean, Cargle really isn't taking that much punishment, but he's not in the fight at all.
Well, I think
Losing every round.
One stern warning from the referee to say, listen, you've got a fighter, I'm going to stop it. Probably could do that. Bell ending round 6. Round 7. Normally I would check Gil's scorecard, but I know what it says already. And I think the fans watching know what it says also, Gil.
You know, and Sam, you left out one thing. You say the referee could stop and warn Cargle to start fighting, or he's just going to stop the fight. If he said, if you don't start fighting, you're not getting paid. That's professional boxing. That's the word that wakes these guys up sometimes.
Sounds like you'd like to do that once in a while. Adams moving in, working underneath and landing. And once again, Cargle holding, and here comes a point off. Another point taken off for holding. The outcome is not in doubt here unless Lee Cargle starts to mix it up and unless he finds something, some lucky punch. But he seems to be unwilling to fight anymore.
Sam, he's not even trying to throw a lucky punch or a big punch. He's never set to throw a punch.
This is the farthest Bones Adams has been in any fight in his pro career, the 7th round. And he seems to be just as fresh as when the fight began. And even though in the last couple of rounds Cargle has kept on moving and trying to stay out of range, Adams has been very, very steady and under control, hasn't gotten wild at all.
He certainly hasn't. You know, the last boxer that I remember that was this efficient at this age was Alexis Arguello.
That's some comparison.
Well, Adams looks right now just about as good as Arguello looked at that early age.
And Cargle not throwing anything. Uppercut started it. Adams tries to put an end to the proceedings.
That may be the difference between a young Adams and a young Arguello. If Arguello hit you with that straight right hand, you were going to go. Bones has landed a lot of punches, and he really has never had Cargle in serious trouble in the entire fight.
Time winding down in the 7th round. Sam Rosen and Gil Clancy ringside here at the King Street Palace in Charleston, South Carolina. Unbeaten bantamweight Clarence Bones Adams, 17 years old, 15-0-1. One draw, a technical draw, stopped after 2 rounds when his opponent was cut due to an accidental butt. And Adams closing in on yet another victory, as this is a lopsided matchup. Lee Cargle in the white trunks after the first 2 rounds has offered very little resistance and very little opposition. He's been doing a lot of holding, has Cargle. Occasionally has tried to rough up the younger Adams.
Sam has even stopped that. He's really been put in his place. Right now, I don't think he wants to get Bones Adams angry at all. He's content. Just let those minutes go by.
Good right hand landing by Bones Adams. Follows it up with a flurry. And Cargle trying to stop Adams from punching. Can't do it. Adams keeps throwing. And landing the uppercut. Again. Good work by Adams. He refused to let himself get tied up.
All right, now, Sam, do we have to start questioning? Hey, now Adams is now fighting southpaw. This kid has talent coming out of his toes. can do it all. But Sam, I think we have to start thinking about his punching power right now because he's landed a lot of solid punches. And again, Cargle is still there and not showing any signs of being in serious trouble.
I'm going to go back to something you touched on earlier. I think Adams is concentrating on going the distance here, Gil. And not thinking about taking him out. I think he's thinking about going 10 rounds.
Well, he is in complete control of himself as well as the fight. No question about that. But even then, by accident, if you have those heavy hands, if you hit a guy, something's going to happen. He's going to start doing funny tricks. And it just hasn't happened in this fight.
Good body shots.
And Cargle is picking some of those off with his elbows, Sam. Again, that's the survivor instinct in a Cargle. He's trying to survive, which is the toughest kind of guy to get out of there. Most of the time, if you get a guy out, it's because you beat him to the punch. But he's not throwing any punches that Bones Adams can beat him to.
Adams working on finding an opening. He's found several. And time has stopped. It looks like tape has come off the glove of Bones Adams. Time has been stopped late in the round.
It's okay for right now. You take care of it in the corner.
Bones Adams fighting for the 4th time in South Carolina, 3rd time in Charleston, fought in Greenville early in July, and has become a favorite around here. And the end of the 8th round. All 10s for Bones Adams on our scorecard.
Him to get no breaks, so let me tape this one. Get his mouthpiece and everything. I don't want them to get no breaks. That's round 9 coming up, baby. Looking great.
Don't tell me I'm not trying.
Hey, listen. Do not listen. You in them corners, don't do all that wrestling and shoving. You ain't got no good shots. Set him up for them good shots, okay? Don't be wrestling. You're wasting energy in there just throwing them little shots in there. You start throwing. Let's get a squirt over here.
Well, he put Vaseline right behind it. Now let's move back.
Across the way in the corner of Lee Cargle.
Combination on the mix, man. Put the combination together. Come on. You got 2 rounds, man. You're both beautiful.
Fight this kid. You gotta fight him. You gotta fight him.
It was Al Plunkett, the manager and trainer of Lee Cargle, the instructions for his man, urging his man to fight.
You said you have to fight this kid, but we haven't seen that at all from Mr. Cargle.
Pulling a few punches here to start the 9th round. No knockdowns in this fight. Adams well ahead. Cargle has lost a couple of points. Holding. Nice right hand lead scores for Bones Adams.
And there's what you were talking about. He stayed under complete control. He didn't jump on Cargle after landing that good solid punch. He wants to go those 10 rounds.
I think that's a stepping off point for him. It's reached a stage here in his 17th pro fight in less than a year and a half as a pro, and I think he needs to prove to himself he can go this distance.
That's exactly right, Sam. It's a psychological barrier to get over, and I think that he's doing a very, very good job of pacing himself and still throwing enough punches to win every single round.
Taking the lead throughout. Total control of the fight, dictating everything. And has never been in trouble.
He showed me every single punch in the book. There isn't a punch that this kid can't throw and throw correctly. They're all short, most of them on the mark. And again, his defense has improved so much.
Once again, Cargle on the move. 29-year-old Lee Cargle, who turned pro in 1983, and now has turned into the trial horse. He proverbial opponent.
But you see what happens when he does try to punch with Bones Adams. He gets beaten. That's the most punishment that Cargle's taken in a few rounds because he tried to open up himself a little bit. That's why he's strictly defensive.
Adams just looking for the opening, finding it, landing some punches, and then stepping back. He doesn't waste much energy. End of round 9.
Here you can see this big right hand by Bones Adams, and again he brings himself right back, perfect position, doesn't go wild, just in complete control of himself and the fight.
10th and final round. There have been no knockdowns. Bones Adams clearly in front. The Cargle has put on very little offense. Rounds 1 and 2, he was willing to mix it up. After that, it's been all Bones Adams as he looks for his 16th win in 17 fights. The only blemish, that technical draw that we mentioned that was here in South Carolina. That was in Charleston, March the 1st, where he had his opponent, Tony Perez, in trouble, but an accidental butt opening up a serious cut forced the stoppage of the fight. End of 2 rounds. It's ruled a technical draw. Adams well on his way to big things. Just 17 years old. That's the incredible thing. He just turned 17 last month. And here he is fighting 10-rounders.
And he's maturing every single fight.
He looks very good.
I wonder what kind of fighter it will take to give Adams problems, Sam. I mean, he seems to have an answer for everything. He's got those fast hands, close combinations. I mean, is it going to be a tall cutie or a southpaw? Who can give this kid a problem?
I think it'll be interesting to see what happens when Adams is hit. I don't think we've seen him get hit real hard by a quality opponent. Now, occasionally, as you mentioned earlier in his fights, he would get hit a few shots, but I think when he fights a quality opponent who's a good puncher, that will really put him to the test.
And if he passes that, Sam, that's it.
Then he should go. Then he looks to have all the tools. Worked the body well.
Box out of there.
He's worked inside well.
All right, break. Step back. Let's go. Let's go.
Here he got pinned by Cargle. And he has now proven he can go the distance.
Again, there's another big plus. The 10 rounds, no matter who you're in there with, Sam, doesn't look a bit fatigued. Looks like he can go another 10.
Lee Cargle, this will be another short notice fight that will end up in the losing column. That's it. Looks like a shutout for Bones Adams.
And Dad just came into the ring with his chest sticking out, and I don't blame him. Big smile. He knows his son passed another test.
Solid performance for Bones Adams, pleasing the good crowd here at the King Street Palace, which has adopted him as one of their favorites. Now awaiting the announcement of the decision, a mere formality at this point. Don't forget our main event, scheduled 10-round lightweight bout. Darrell Tyson, ranked number 3 in the world, will take on Lupe Suarez, former junior lightweight contender. Suarez having fought twice for the junior lightweight championship. Cards have been collected, and we'll get the official announcement from ring announcer Mark Morgan.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. The judges scored 100 to 88, 100 to 87, 100 to 86. The winner and still unbeaten in the red corner, Clarence Bones Adams.
A lopsided victory for Clarence Bones Adams. He goes the 10-round distance for the first time in his pro career. First time he's been forced to go the distance in his last 7 fights. But a satisfying victory and a dominant performance for Bones Adams as he defeats Lee Cargle. Back with more Fight Night action in just a moment. Palace. We are getting set for welterweight action. And let's get the introductions to our next bout from ring announcer Mark Morgan.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout is set for 4 rounds welterweight. Your referee is Brian Stutz, first in the blue corner from Columbia, South Carolina, with a professional record of 5-3. 2 of those wins coming by knockout. He weighed in at 147. Say hello to Linnell Stroman. His opponent in the red corner, undefeated 4-0, 3 of those wins by knockout. He weighed in at 149.5. Say hello to Darrell Coley.
There he is, the screen opened, and here comes Darrell Coley.
They plan everything, Sam, even the entrance.
You, not me.
Coley is 3-0. He is 21 years old, from Washington, D.C. Stands 5'11". Unbeaten, wearing the American flag trunks, and came in with sunglasses too.
The last fighter I saw come in with sunglasses got knocked out in 1 round, and that was Roger Mayweather.
Here is Darrell Coley. Linnell Stroman in the red trunks is 28 years old, born in Brooklyn, New York, raised in Columbia, South Carolina. He stands 5'9". Both weighing in at 147. Coley coming down with Darrell Tyson, also from Washington, D.C., where they work together.
Sam, if he can fight as flashy as those trunks, we're going to see a good fighter. They have to be handmade trunks, Sam. There's no way that anybody could manufacture them.
Good trunks. He's got the real nice shoes with the tassels. One red shoe, one blue shoe. He's decked out, the man from our nation's capital. Darrell Coley, unbeaten. As a pro, he's 3-0. Quick left hook by Coley. They've updated his record.